And we are live. Okay, thanks everyone for the meeting for today, Thursday, the 9th of June. We have a new panel member, John S. from Wolverhampton. If you'd like to introduce yourself, John, to everyone, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, my name is John Sims and I live in Wolverhampton. I have lived in Wolverhampton since 1974. And I am, for my sins, a retired teacher, just like my wife. A bit boring, really. But that's about it.
Okay. And if we can just go around the circle, if you'd like, Owen, can you introduce yourself to John so he knows who you are and what you do?
Hello, good evening and welcome. My name is Owen Brown. I, for my sins, have lived in Wolverhampton all my life, left, came back. And I was a teacher for 30 years, stepped away. I am now working at a school, so I'm still in education, but I stepped down to become teacher assistant because I didn't want so I can just a bit play in the movie and then I can step up when I need to. So that's why.
Can I just ask what school you were at?
My background is further education. After I was made redundant in 2013, the back end of sort of 2015, I joined the great number of agency workers, which led me into working in schools, many schools, some SEN schools, some Peru schools where the naughty kids are, and of course some mainstream schools. I did a few periods in primary schools, which is not my background. I'm further education, really, and adult education and higher education. But for the past few years, I've been working in secondary education. Sometimes for cover supervisors, sometimes covering lessons I have no idea about, but nonetheless, I need to work off others teaching notes. Lately, my current role now is teacher assistant, really, and in-class support learner as well, where I work with the teacher.
So widely skilled indeed.
Beg your pardon, sorry?
Widely skilled.
Fine, yeah. But you know yourself, as when you're working in education, you exercise a lot of transferable skills, don't you? So that's how it is. You do what you have to do.
That sounds great.
I'm sure you're not a stranger to that yourself. So
no.
There you go.
Okay, Janet.
Thanks for that.
Janet.
Hi, I'm Janet, originally from Wolverhampton, but live in the southeast. I'm an independent HR consultant, so a bit of a Sue Gray, investigating and chairing a range of meetings for employers.
Oh, right.
And Everton?
Everton, IT consultant, software engineer. A lot of work with various big banks around the globe.
Currently in Spain, are you?
Yeah, in Spain. Yeah.
And then we have Mr. Williams, Neville. He keeps disappearing for some reason.
I'm here, but it's just that the system just obviously doesn't like me tonight.
Now you see, now you don't.
I'm a magician. I appear sometimes and I don't. I'm kind of semi-retired, really. Sometimes I do stuff with call centers, IT, business analysis, that type of stuff. Musician. That's generally it, really. But from Wolverhampton. Born and bred.
And then we have Lennox. Would you like to introduce yourself, even though you're driving?
Yeah, hi everybody. I apologise for today.
It's the Daleks.
I think we're going to lose Lennox, to be honest, because his signal's terrible. Okay, well, what I'll do then, the actual topic for tonight. Do you think that lying is a necessary evil in modern society? And I don't think John actually explained. John teaches English. So
Well, I tried to. I kept it. Yeah. Well, English and drama.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Yeah, my name's Lennox. I'm a surveyor. And I'm hungry.
Okay.
To the point.
Well, the first thing we need to look at then, what does the actual word lying mean first? Can anyone give me a definition?
Oh,
Sorry?
Can anyone give me a definition of what the term lying means?
No, you can't do that to Tony. I've prepared for it. I've prepared the program.
But you're driving. If you
Yes, I know, but I mean, can we look at doing something else? Because I have prepared it, rather than sort of, just going into it. I mean, I've got some. I've prepared. I didn't want to sort of, go do it half-hearted. That's why I sent an apology. I don't know whether you guys picked it up.
Yeah, but we can't hear you very well. So
yes, I know. Can we do it next week then? Rather than doing this week, because I have prepared it. So I have got a couple of things that I've got a structure that I wanted to look at.
Yeah, but it's the quality of the delivery. To be honest, we can't.
No, he said.
No, well, that's what I said. Can we do it for next week then? Because there's no way I can do it now. Driving.
Yeah. So what are we doing for this week?
Rather than talking through it this week, can we do it as a full subject next week? That's what I'm asking.
Well,
so what happens tonight then?
There's a full gamut of stuff to talk about.
Were you saying something?
No, I was just saying, from my point of view, because I'm retired, most evenings I've got some drinking friends that we meet, but if they know that I'm using, say, Thursday or Wednesday, that's fine. I can arrange that.
Mm.
In fact, I was only told that this was happening this afternoon, which came as a pleasant surprise. It's a bit of a shock.
Oh, Tony. Okay, Tony. Thank you, Tony.
Well, no. Hey, listen, guys. Listen. I'm all for equality. You know that, don't you?
Yeah.
And diversity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all.
I'm being diverse, right?
We all are.
We all are.
So what you say, Tony?
No, it's diverse and inclusive, isn't it?
It's always has been.
Yeah.
No, we had a white guy before. I've now brought a new one in.
It doesn't matter.
It does to me. I want to make sure I'm inclusive. Okay.
Exactly. Can I say I was extremely flattered. Tony was telling me about this meeting when he came to look at my laptop a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, cool.
And I did say to him with my tongue in my cheek, I'm always up for this sort of thing, never thinking for a moment that he would actually take me at my word. My friends know I'm known to be quite not argumentative, but I'm very interested in what people think. So yeah. I'm very keen to do this, I must say, and I'm very pleased and grateful.
Well, the things though, last week, I mean, was it 2 weeks ago, wasn't it, John? When we met.
Yeah, that's right. You
2 weeks ago, and I was there to do a job that should have taken an hour and a half, and I think I've spent nearly 3 hours talking to this gentleman. About 3 hours. About 3 hours of his house talking about this subject and what's going on in the world and everything else. And I thought, it'd be a nice addition to have someone else's views. So I invited him. I did say to him,
that's good.
Yeah, but it's nice. I mean, and obviously the job that I'm in, I'll meet a lot of people. But then sometimes you click with people, sometimes you don't. I clicked with John. John had a nice conversation. We didn't agree on everything.
John, did you get a discount, John?
No, but let me tell you, I tried very hard.
He's a mean boy, that Tony Bennett.
But you see, being a pensioner, I have to. I'm very poor. I have to be very careful. At least that's what I tell people who do work for me.
Tony, you're taking bread out the mouths of pensioners these days, are you, Tony?
I used to have yellow pages.
It's nothing short of disgraceful, frankly.
The man's got grandchildren to feed as well. What sort of man are you, Tony Bennett?
Unscrewed.
Yeah. Hey, John, you could have told a lie. You could say, you know, well, £2,000. I have 11 children to feed them. You could have told a lie there. You could have tried to appeal to his sense of mercy, but then again,
that's true. That's true. But I could see that Tony wasn't stupid, and he could see through that sort of lie.
Yeah, for turning. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the thing is, though, what I like to do then is I'll tell you what I would like to do then. Do you think it'd be a good idea that I know Lennox has got something prepared for next week, Thursday. Okay. And I think I mentioned before that we'd take it in rotation in turns. I mean, I would have liked to have talked about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard and how that's affected people and how men are abused as well as women, and the attention has not been on women. Not been on men. And recently, now, more people. I spoke to a policewoman this morning, and she said in Shrewsbury, the number of men actually complaining about abuse from women has increased.
Before you go any further, Tony, I think it's a great topic to discuss. But just to go back to an earlier point you made about the group being inclusive, which we always have been, and that's at the core of our principles. Meeting on this group. It does need some more women on the forum because it is fairly sort of male-centric, with the exception of, you know, our right honourable friend Janet. That's the only female voice. So I think we need to get it a bit more balanced next time, if anything. So if you're going to do it in topics like this again, it would be good to have more of a female input as well. Almost on the, because, you know, women see things differently to men, and
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. The thing is that I've got the opportunity to ask two more. There's a woman from God's Grace Christian Hair Salon in Birmingham. Yeah, but she's got very good views on things. But I wanted a good mix of people. So if you know of anybody who'd be interested in joining us on this, because believe it or not, now I'd like to have a few more, like you said, women on board on the panel.
Yeah.
Discuss what's going on. Because the Amber Heard thing, I would like to get women's views on, because I've seen some of the things that have been on Facebook and on YouTube in support of Amanda. It's not Amanda, is it? What's the name again?
Amber
Heard, yeah. Or the new name is Amber Turd, isn't it? She pooed on his bed.
Oh.
Okay, but but I would like to get a woman's perspective on it all, really, because it's obviously something that's very close to me anyway. Topic.
Well, see, on that point, like a woman's view, I've been scanning Facebook, and there's quite a few women that are quite disgusted with Amber Heard as well. You know, so you might get. I think you'll be quite surprised at the diverse range of women's views on Amber Heard and Johnny Depp and so on and so forth. And you're getting quite a few women who are anti-Amber Heard and pro-Johnny Depp because they've made the same observation you've made, you know, where men, to a certain degree, are abused, and abuse has many, many, many forms. Just raise voices and violent physical actions. It's a wide church, a very broad church. It's very subtle, and it can be quite insidious as well. So that's the reason why I think if you're going to deal with something like this tonight, it'd be good to get more women on the panel just to give their point of view. Besides our good friend.
Yeah, but I need you need a good cross section of people. You can't just have well, you need a good. You're looking at people that are 25 years and above to make a comment on those, because those people have been watching those things, aren't they? The more mature people.
Do you know what? I'm going to be. I'm not going to be controversial.
Oh, no, never. Don't say not to be controversial. You're the one that said that Jada Pinkett and Will Smith love each other, even though you saw the disaster after.
I can't believe you're bringing up history, but yes, they do. I forget that. But the reality is, I don't think it matters whether you're male or female in this. It's about what person came across as being the more believable. And I believe that Amber Heard didn't do herself any justice whatsoever in the stuff she was coming out with. I don't think, had she been a man, I'd have said exactly the same thing. It makes no difference whether she's male or female.
Yeah, but you say that
mouth was not good.
You say that though, Nev. But I mean, the norm is like a man shouldn't hit a woman. You know, so to say that it makes no difference. Okay. There's some guys who never put their hands on a woman, and there's some guys who will say, "Well, tit for tat."
I understand what you're saying.
I mean, and even if you hit a woman, I mean, I've seen some guys hit a woman like they would hit a guy, rather than give somebody a slap because they deserve it. So I don't know whether I would agree with the statement that you made there, because I think if you do put your hands on a woman, you can't be hitting her.
But Lennox, here's the reality. The reality is, there's no proof of him hitting her. There's proof of her hitting him, but not the other way around.
No, sorry. I was talking about more sort of having women on the panel, because there'd be a different perspective between about sort of a man putting their hands on a woman. That's what I was talking about, rather than the Heard case, the Heard Depp case. Because there is a dynamic between men hitting women. Or
listen, fine. Lennox, I'm not advocating.
Oh, sorry.
I'm not advocating anybody hits anybody. But all I'm saying is, there are so many things that have been drawn over the last few years where if a man holds a door open for a woman, and a woman, sometimes women will turn around to you and say, "I can hold my own doors." You think, okay, I was only being polite. So it's kind of like everything that you've done before, for some people, is almost like, what are you trying to get off me? So you then have to step back from being normal, and because I'll hold a door open for a man, I'll hold a door open for a woman. It doesn't make any difference. It's the person.
Through what lens are we looking at abuse? Because it seems at the moment what I'm hearing is one specific dimension of abuse. Abuse is a broad church, like I said before. Yeah. There are many different types of abuse. And what are we talking about here? If we're going to explore this Amber Heard and Johnny Depp situation, right? What came to light was one facet of abuse that was proven to a certain degree, an audio tape and a video tape, right? And also some videotapes of Johnny Depp off his head, right? What aspect of abuse are we looking at? Because, for instance, invasion of personal space is abuse. Goading someone, demeaning them is abuse. It's all a type of bullying. It's all a bit of a power play here. So what are we looking at, gentlemen? What aspects of abuse are we looking at? We need to think very carefully.
I think obviously the other thing you got to remember is, I don't know about you guys, but I didn't really follow it closely. It's not the type of thing that really interests me. So I'll have seen it and read one or two snippets, but I haven't thought, I need to watch this every night, otherwise I can't live. I'm not really that interested. It's, to me, two people with a lot of money who could be doing a hell of a lot better things than portray themselves in public like that. It was unnecessary as far as I'm concerned.
Well, absolutely. The thing is because they live in a different world to us, don't they?
It's a different world. It's a different world.
But the actual dynamics of what they do are in parallel to the normal person. The abuse doesn't change, no matter whether you're rich or poor.
Yeah.
They admitted to taking drugs, some crazy horse stuff. They did all those things, but the core thing of it was the abuse, wasn't it? That's what it's all about. The op-ed that she wrote saying that she was an advocate for women being abused. That's what she was. The problem is she wrote it about Johnny Depp in speech marks because his name was never mentioned. He took offense to that. The producers, Pirates of the Caribbean, kicked him to the curb and said, "Yeah, okay, you're not working for us anymore," even though it wasn't proven. But then the audio tapes came out of her saying, "You're a weak man. No one's going to believe you. That a big man like you hits a woman. That I hit you." And that was, as far as I'm concerned, he didn't have to play anything else. I don't care about the drugs. I don't care about anything else. A drink, slamming cupboard doors. She made that admission, and that was enough for me. I didn't have to listen with anything else at all. Everything else she said after that was a complete lie, wasn't it? Everything was a lie. And as I said before, that resonated with me so strongly, it's unbelievable.
Many people though argue, Tony, is about sort of redressing the balance, which is what the argument is. I mean, the argument is that men have for far too long held the upper hand on domestic violence, and the issue that you see with her and Depp is about payback. It's the same thing, I suppose, with in a sense with rape. If a woman says, "I've been raped,"
Lennox, stop for a second. Lennox, do not use the R word.
Say again?
Our last video got banned because you used the R word.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
That's why it's not up there.
Oh, okay.
I'm expecting to get struck off again now. So carry on.
Oh,
okay. You have to edit it.
I didn't realise.
They're looking at it now, so it doesn't matter. Too late.
Too late, is it?
Yeah, too late.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Yeah, you should have said that at the beginning. I didn't know. I didn't realise.
There's a list of words you can't say.
Yeah. I think when we start the meeting, you ought to say what's acceptable and what isn't.
Anything that constitutes abuse and physical penetration, you can't say it.
Well, Tony, do you think the whole situation ruined them as people?
Yes.
You know something? I'm going to tell you something now. You know, with regards to Johnny Depp, no, he didn't. Because
he was trying to repair.
Pardon?
He was trying to repair his situation.
He
was trying to repair. That's why he tried to the defamation case like that. Yeah, on both sides of the Atlantic, trying to repair the situation.
He was in Wolverhampton last night, wasn't he? Was he in Wolverhampton last night or the night before?
Birmingham.
So what were you saying, Everton? Sorry, I didn't get that.
I'm just saying that he was trying to repair his situation by going to court in the defamation cases on both sides of the Atlantic. That's what he was trying to do. So he's repaired the situation. And Amber Heard is now damaged. Yeah, her situation is now damaged. It isn't great. It shouldn't have come to this.
I just think they've ruined themselves as people, ruined their reputation. The sad, ugly saga behind closed doors was made public fare for people to go up at, and I think.
You know something?
I've got to
disagree with you. I've got to disagree with you. I don't think Johnny Depp hasn't ruined his reputation. He's leveled it off. He was dick before. He's leveled it off.
Okay.
He's got a bit of a climb back. She's ruined her reputation because unfortunately she's looked at as a bitter woman and a liar. That's where she's damaged herself.
Now, is that fair? But is that fair to her?
Well, 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
I
think he's come out badly as well. I mean, I didn't realise the amount of pharmaceuticals that both of them could consume. I mean, it's like industrial levels.
Do you know something? If you listen to people that are famous, the musicians, the actors, the stuff that they do, you'd be surprised. Musicians, through time immemorial, have constantly taken whatever drugs they can get, not from a chemist. It's a fact.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of these actors are very similar as well.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, what's happened there? It's an accepted fact. We expect them to be doing that.
Well, you see, it's accepted in their circles. We don't really know about it, and we don't really talk about it. It technically shouldn't be accepted, but you are right. They just accept that you're a musician, you're going to do that.
Yeah, that's right. So that's a given. So you can work that out. So when I found out they were taking horse stuff, I thought they're crazy. But the thing, you know what? I expect them to be doing that.
What was that? Was it ketamine?
That's the one.
I mean, I'd heard about. Listen, the only drugs I've ever taken, and I can swear on my son's life, is something that's been prescribed for me from a doctor. I don't see what the value in all these people want to experiment. They're the same type of people that want to go to the edge of a cliff and see, is it okay to lean over? Yeah, how far can we go? Oh, it's too late. I'm not into that. I don't need that energy.
Can I just, when this topic was just briefly touched on this afternoon, when Tony was here, and my wife Trisha was there, and he put the same question about these two people. Now I have to say that neither my wife or I are particularly aware of them. We don't. It just doesn't interest that sort of thing. But she said that the reason why all this has come to the fore is fundamentally publicity. And it seems to me, I find it very difficult to get my head around the notion that if you were having a difficult marriage, if you were having an abusive situation, either way, whatever it is, why on earth would you drag it into the public domain, knowing very well that somebody, I mean, even I've heard of Johnny Depp. Why? It seems to me it's these people. You've seen them, celebrities who are outraged by the invasion of their privacy, and it seems to me they go remarkably out of their way, half a mile and a bit further, telling people publicly that they don't want publicity. Well, but it seems to me the history of entertainment, particularly cinema, in the last 100 years is even going back to the silent films. The most important thing about any actor was the publicity they got, and I believe that the big studios, the MGMs and Universal and so on, had whole departments dedicated to stirring up the stuff they were supposed to be doing or weren't supposed to be doing.
Gossip.
Because of course, when you're talking about it, they come to the fore, and therefore when they appear on the films or on the television, we're then interested. Now, actually, if what I understand happened, it really is none of our business. So why they would want to, and I understand the costs involved. I've been involved recently in a legal dispute, and I have been staggered by the amount of costs for relatively small things. When I tell you, for example, that I've been charged £300 plus VAT an hour over a relatively small thing. So you think to yourself, these people who seem to be wounded, well, in a way, haven't they got it themselves to blame? Because we're talking about it. We are enhancing their reputation and their value to themselves. After all, nobody goes online like this and talks about our private lives. So in a way, it's a kind of deliberate lying, isn't it? It's a manufacturing of things which are significant, and actually, it's in a sense as theatrical as the things they do on the screen.
Yeah, it is, and it's hypocritical too. You know, it's hypocritical too, because they are, in one respect, peddling a lie under the guise of truth, which is completely beyond me. I like you, was never interested in the story, but he was out there, and I'd be hearing snippets of it. So, like Neville, it's out there, and you take on bits of information that you can hear and digest, and then, if you wish to, make a judgment of it. But you are right, John. The more they talk about it, we talk about it, it gains them column inches, it gains publicity. And that's a currency that they live on. The ugly side of it is that people see their private lives, things they do in private, which should be kept private, which I think is, for me, privacy is sacrosanct. Why in God's name would you want to bring out all that stuff? It doesn't make sense. And to a certain degree, it's almost immoral. I can understand why Depp did it because of the implications of words or rants, you know. But at the same time, why would you want to do this to yourselves? That's the reason why I asked the question. Do you think it's ruined them as people? Because I think it has.
Revenge. That's what it is.
Yeah, revenge.
Yeah. See, the thing is, when you're sort of, you know, you're chemically enhanced, you're not really being rational, are you? You're not thinking straight.
No,
and I think that's what you see. I mean, a couple of nights, the last within the last week, I've walked through Wolverhampton from a friend's on the way home, and I'm getting home at like sort of 12, 1 o'clock, half 12 at night, and there are people in the street dropping people off and beeping the horn as they're leaving, and sort of you're looking at these guys, and it's like, hold on a minute, you know, people are sleeping, but you don't seem to sort of, you know, have anything in your brain to say, look, if I beat my horn at that time of night, it's going to disturb people. So sometimes people's my mum and dad used to use the word addled. Your brains get addled if you're you know you're doing the chemical thing, and you're just not, you're not balanced, you're not thinking straight, you know.
I just think they're both as guilty as each other. They are both guilty, you know.
Yeah.
I don't advocate violence against anyone, especially women, but also to, you know, conversely, I don't advocate anyone any violence against men, any form of abuse, psychological, whatever it is. But I think with those two people,
never ever.
They are both, in my opinion, they're both as guilty as each other. They are.
No, but are you advocating violence? Violence should never happen.
Yeah, I disagree with that. You're talking about the violence. The reason this case came to the fore, came to the front, because of the damage to Johnny Depp's career. That's why he brought this case. That's why it was a civil case. It wasn't a criminal case. It was a civil case. It wasn't a case about domestic violence and stuff. It was a case about what Amber Heard said, or someone wrote for her in a newspaper, yeah, and which then painted Johnny Heard as a domestic violence perpetrator, yeah, without a criminal trial, yeah. So, as we see in the, for example, the lawyer in that, the female lawyer who's trying to get the lawyer, she did so well. She got a partnership with maybe a year away, but she instantly got a partnership, and everyone's offering her a job now, all the big firms. So it was a difficult case to win. To start to win a defamation case, got a higher bar than a normal person in defamation case, because already, because in the public eye, it's looked at slightly differently. There's some I can remember what the term is for it, but it has different weights. And so we had to bring the case. It wasn't criminal, it was a civil case. So we're here talking about different forms of domestic violence, and in the defamation case, Johnny Depp was able to present information or present tape to show that he was also assaulted on numerous occasions. So,
is violence ever justified?
In war?
No, you twisted it. You twisted it. Is violence ever justified in a domestic setting?
No, I don't think it is.
Do you know what? I don't think it is violence. I think what's happened is you can talk about something that you know is not the crux of the matter that you're looking at, but it causes a lot of people to look at it. This really wasn't about violence to her. This was about her damaging her more famous husband or ex-husband, because you can reel off probably 10 films that Johnny Depp's been in. You can probably reel off 2 that she's been in. Most people probably only one. There's a massive difference between them. And I think one of the big problems you've got is when you've got 2 actors who are both relatively prominent features, the issue is if one of them is jealous of the other, and it would come across to me that she would be jealous, and doing this to him, to hurt his ability to bring in further salary, that's to me what it's all about. Sometimes people don't talk about what the real case is about. She's only used the violence as a part of it because it gets headlines. I don't think
it's not what we
envy.
Yes, envy. It's envy.
Isn't that at the back of what we're sort of, you know, there's not a tangent to what we're talking about. I think sort of guys, if they get into a dispute, sometimes, you know, the fists come out, but women tend to go more the emotional route.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Not these
But
days.
unfortunately,
modern women aren't like that.
Unfortunately, we have the law has taken care of that as well. The law has coercive behaviour as part of domestic violence as well. So it's not just fist. Yeah. So that's part of it. Yeah.
Is it of any use to think that, you see, I have this thing about actors generally. They seem a bit strange as a race to me. I mean, in a way, of course, all actors are licensed liars, aren't they? I mean, they spend their whole professional time being other people.
Absolutely, that's true. That's the problem.
So in a way, you see, I mean, first of all, as I said, I don't care about these people. I haven't got enough life left to waste on them. But also, you see, it seems to me that in a way, it doesn't matter what they say. The fact that they are reported, the fact that we are speaking about it, that it's gone around, it can do nothing in my mind except enhance their desirability from a commercial point of view. So even by talking about them, you are actually swimming in their tide. Now, if what he claims, if all this, he took that, she hit him, she didn't hit him, if this had happened to the couple who live next door to you, no one would know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in fact, are we being duped because we are surrounded by
it? Feeds their ego, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, to go back to the point that you made about, you know, actors and actresses being a strange breed, they are a strange tribe because they build and trade they trade in lies. They inhabit characters who they aren't, and they act out make believe. We buy into it. We become a fan of them. We go to watch their movies and so on and so forth, and we feed their pockets. And it's all about feeding their egos. And all of this, even in reality, so to speak, in public, played out in court, is feeding their egos again.
You see, a court is a kind of theatre, isn't it? The court, any court, is a theatre.
Yeah.
In fact, they even dress up, don't they? The lawyers dress up.
Yeah.
Well, I think that you didn't follow I mean, I didn't follow it, but they part of what they were doing in the analysis is looking at both parties' body language, and apparently Depp got more points because he was more still, whereas Heard was like moving around a lot more. So yeah.
Perhaps he's just a better actor.
Well, that's it. That's what they were saying. He was more passive. Passive is a wrong word, but he was more still in court. And apparently that's the way to be if you want to convince people, is you move less.
So then it seems that what you're saying could be right. Doesn't it make this whole thing immoral to a certain degree, you know, hypocritical?
Oh, yeah.
We're supposed to invest our emotions in these people, but they're as false as synthetics.
Yeah, okay, that's true. But remember, as I said, this wasn't a criminal case. Yeah. So someone's reputation was damaged. And you know these stars, they hunger for recognition. It's like in the Justin Timberlake Jay-Z song. Yeah, they
Yeah,
wash their dirty laundry in public,
yeah,
and
man.
they crave
Instant.
recognition. And you see when how powerful PR is. We had in the 60s and 70s, we had Rock Hudson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rock Hudson, right? Yeah, who was personified as a man, as a leading man, a good-looking man. I mean, even his name, Rock Hudson, said everything, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But in the end,
Rock
he was
hard.
gay. Yeah, in the end, he
Yeah.
was gay, and that time it wasn't a great thing. And he tried to keep it secret, and he kept it secret, even though everyone knew. Yeah, everyone knew apparently, but they kept it out the paper, kept it secret.
Well, you see,
Now, there's a powerful thing with propaganda, very powerful for these celebrities.
it's a very interesting thing you raised the issue about Rock Hudson, because I can remember when it was revealed. I think when he was actually in his last illness.
Yeah.
And it was revealed it was gay. Well, to start with, of course, I mean, I don't need to remind you of that. Certainly, the society that I lived in was homophobic to an exaggerated. In fact, I came across something recently where somebody, it was something from the 60s. Some chap had tried to get his son cured of being gay. That was the sort of attitude. So somebody like Rock Hudson was playing the part of Rock Hudson. His real life is nothing to do with it. But of course, Hollywood and the filmmakers want us to believe that the people we see are real, and they're not real. They're not real.
Lie, exactly.
So
it's just,
see,
sorry, Montgomery
no,
Clift.
I've always taken the view that a person's sexuality is nothing to do with me. It doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
But
they shouldn't be
did.
defined by that.
It did, and in fact, it was Hollywood, particularly in the 40s and 50s, had to work very hard to smother any possibility of homophobic or whatever. Now we don't have that now.
But you make a very good point actually when you talk about it's your personal somebody else's sexuality is their own business, and I would in part agree with you. Whatever happens behind your front door is nothing to do with me or the neighbors or anything like that. However, what you have is influence, and you have the people in Hollywood and Walt Disney are seeking to influence our children and society into that particular way of life. So whatever goes on in your behind closed doors is your own business, but they bring that lifestyle or that alternative lifestyle forward and get you and your children to adopt that lifestyle.
And
Walt Disney was never an advocate of I mean, he was a homophobe, right? And all people like him, Louis B. Mayer, Sam Goldwyn, all those guys, like John was saying, work very hard to hide the real characters of people like Montgomery Clift, Tyrone Power, and all these people who were supposedly, a strong, virile men who were and living a life.
We all know that's due to the marketing department.
But Walt Disney's dead. Walt Disney's dead, right? Yeah, and now I've got new leadership, and the new leadership is a different way. Just as Lennox is saying, heading that way. That's what they want. They're steering us in a certain way by showing us their celebrities' lifestyle, the celebrities speaking out and certain topics, issues, and lobbying certain things. It's all part of one thing. Walt Disney's dead. Yeah. It's not him anymore. It's not.
But you don't. But the thing is, you see, you don't hear the reality of the situation with the consequences of that lifestyle. I remember sort of years back, back in the 70s or so, somebody in the House of Lords was talking about the influence of some older gentlemen on younger boys, and in the event that you practice that lifestyle and Tony says I can't use the word. Yeah. So in the event that you practice that lifestyle, medically, there's a consequence to pay. Because you can't behave inappropriately with your body and not be harmed medically by that. A mate of mine would use a term like you'd end up looking like a Wellington boot, but I don't know whether Tony would. I can use that word.
Well, the technical term you look with prolapse, and that.
I think
you never hear that. You never hear that you're wearing of the sanitary pads and things, but that's all part and parcel of that lifestyle. But you never hear that. That is never mentioned in any conversation that's had.
Lennox, I don't get what you're saying. Sorry, could you be a bit more specific? I don't get what you're saying.
No, but I understand now. We don't want to know.
Apparently he can't be more specific.
Because of the overlords. The overlords are watching us all the time.
Okay. Yeah, well, understood. Karen.
He's gone to get the census.
Oh, the police are knocked on this door.
I mean, the Rock Hudson thing there, and all those actors of that era, it's all because they want that man, gay or whatever, to appeal to all the females. They want
and the men as well,
woman, they want every woman to believe they've got a chance of getting somebody like that, like Rock Hudson. Oh, he's fantastic. Oh, if Rock and I were together, nothing would happen, my love. Because you're not built for him.
Don't forget that when I know now that people have televisions and so on, but in my younger days it was the cinema. I mean, the cinema is all a trick of the light. It's not real, and the people on it aren't real.
Yeah.
They're not real anymore. My wife was a primary school teacher until she retired, and she taught the early ones, the quite young ones. And to a person, each child believed that the teacher lived in the Wendy house. Because of course that's the world in which they live. So, but to look at any actor, any licensed liar, which is what they are, as representing real life, that they may be, or they may, but that's not what they're there for. And it seems to me the people who run the business, which aren't the actors anyway, the only thing that the people who run the business are interested in, like the people who run the social service, social internet and so on, all they're interested in is making a profit. It's a commercial enterprise. When I saw the chap, and I don't know the name, slap that other chap at the Oscars,
Oh, Will Smith.
It seemed to me, I don't know what behind it and so on, but I thought to myself, what a wonderful publicity, because of course immediately the world was talking about it. And see, what as a teacher, I spent my whole life trying to get children to see the reality behind all the fictions that surround them. And in a sense, the cinema, the internet, it's all fiction and versions.
But
what we need to do, it seems to me, is to educate children into understanding that, so that they can see through the nonsense of it.
That is so difficult. I mean, the power
of course.
I mean,
yes.
if you look at how they do it, I mean, you go and put the kettle on, and the adverts, you take a breaking and put the kettle on, and the adverts follow you into the kitchen. If you can't see the pictures, you hear the music. We can all recite a finger of fudge. It's just they get us coming and they get us going.
Excuse me, can I just ask you what you've got against a finger of fudge?
Say again?
Nothing.
Can I ask you what you've got against a finger of fudge?
Absolutely nothing at all, Tony.
Leave it alone.
As we used to say in the classroom,
other fingers are made of
moving on.
No.
it is pushing this narrative. It's this false narrative, isn't it? I mean, from drama through to adverts, it's pushing a false narrative that we buy into, or it's inviting us to buy into this. This could be our reality, or in certain cases, in some dramas, it's reflecting a type of reality that exists, but it's acted out in theatre. But it's still technically a lie.
Well, it is because I mean they're having us believe that we are the flu generation, and they're not the same. That these young people are not the same as when we were growing up. They're not. They don't have the rough and tumble about them. They don't.
Are you saying that they're not as savvy as we were? That they don't know a lie from the truth? I would challenge that to a certain degree. I understand what you're saying, my good friend, but I think the youngins now they're pretty switched on. Trust me.
No, I don't agree.
They're very
They
know what it's all about. You speak to the average school kid. They're switched on. They know exactly what it's about.
No, I don't think
Sorry.
so.
Can I just interject? I'm sorry. I'm going to have to go now because I'm due somewhere else because I only know about it. Can I say it's been a huge pleasure? And if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to carry on with this at another time. If you find
next week.
Well,
I did want to look at lying actually. So if you want to join us next week, you'd be more than welcome.
I would be pleased to do that. It's been a great pleasure, and thank you. I'm just sorry I have to go. It just clashed because I knew about this.
I've got to go as well. Actually,
this afternoon.
Nice.
So thanks very much, and I look forward to seeing you again.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much.
All right.
Tony, it is now 20 to 10. So, do I have permission to go, sir?
Gotta go.
Yeah.
No. Again, guys, I apologize.
I think Tony's gone.
For this week.
No, he can't have gone. He wouldn't have gone.
That's not him.
Tony. Hello.
Tony
never goes.
He thought we were stupid enough to think that picture is him live. Oh, hello.
It is. He's holding his breath.
I've only been gone 3 minutes.
We saw you doppelganger.
But where's our Janet? Where's our Janet?
Oh,
she's dealing with her boy. Yeah.
She came into the room.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, listen. I'm sitting in the car. I need to get out of this car and sort myself out.
Tony, permission to go, sir.
Yes, of course. Lennox.
Yes.
If you're going to put something on.
Yes.
And you're going to, say 8:30.
Yes.
I'm not doing the car.
You know what's coming.
Yep.
You can do it in the car. There's a
No, you can't. You can't.
Good night. God bless. See you guys next week. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.